Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone. Guess what? Episode 2 came out. Not surprised, normally there's an episode 1, then 2, then 3, and so on and so forth. But um I am reviewing Rose of the Recapture episode 2 today. So, what did I think of it? I thought it was good. It was definitely better than the first episode by a lot. Not only has it just kind of sunken in that now you just gotta roll with it. I've come to terms with the whole all the mess of the outside world, And those inconsistencies aside, the second episode, obviously not being our introduction to it, isn't really held down by that. But on top of that, they add way more interesting shit. I'm sorry, but that's literally the only way I can put it. Um, so to put into perspective, okay, we we find out about Ash, who is the main primary pilot. He is really interesting now. So we find out a little bit about him. We find out that he used to be a very good Britannian soldier with a unique fighting style, and he's able to do all these incredible things and fight such incredible battles. And he was notoriously very brutal and an assassin and did a lot of ambushes and stuff like that. So it's obviously you've been curious since the beginning of why is this guy who's not related to Rose helping Rose so much, and just kind of building upon that mystery. And overall it really does build an intriguing part of the show. Now, I'm gonna be frank, we're getting into spoiler territory. That was the first episode, so you kind of had an excuse here. Listen, this is spoiler territory, but Rose, I'm gonna say it, Rose. Um, so Rose used their Geass on Ash, and that's wild to me. Now, it definitely builds up a level of intrigue for the rest of the show, and now I'm wondering what's going to happen next. How is this going to play out? Rose is talking about wanting to kill Ash after this is all over, and it's like, wow, what is going on? On top of that, we're seeing Rose's more sadistic side, which is kind of there with almost every Code Geass character, so it's not like we're missing out too much. But, they do get a little bit evil, as you can probably guess. Anyway, apart from that, though, some other stuff happens. So the decoy princess, I forget her name, I'm really sorry. Rose helped the decoy princess escape, but then the decoy princess was captured by one of the knights. And on one hand, it does do a good job of setting up our antagonists. However, I think that it's kind of screwed up the rest of the show, because I'm gonna be frank, it felt incredibly cliche when the evil bad guy swooped in and kidnapped a princess. Or sorry, it was a bad girl. So the bad guys and the main pilot swoops in, kidnaps the princess, and pulls her away as Rose is screaming "No" with her hand out, and they're both screaming "No" with their hands out, and the dramatic music is playing, and I'm like, so is bro about to pull out the mustache and pull on the red hat, because that was some Bowser type, that was some Bowser stuff, man. But yeah, I did really like it. It does feel like it is covering some of the same bases as the original Code Geass, with, for example, the seven stars do kind of feel like the four holy swords, in which our main character, who's like a Britannian outcast, is trying to free this special elite, what you call it, resistance fighter. And they're it feels very similar to what the Black Knights were trying to do to get the 4 holy swords. It's not terrible because obviously I love Code Geass, right? But it's nothing too wildly chaotic or crazy. Now, I didn't dive into this too much in the first episode just because it kind of wasn't needed, but um, the production value is really good. But I've started noticing more and more they're not just doing CGI like I initially thought. They do have small bits of 2D. However, sometimes they have 2D mixed with 3D, which is rather interesting. And as much as I want to praise them for it, I'm just kind of like, bro, like why can't we just get a 2D? Especially since this is Code Geass. Like this is the second biggest mecha anime behind like Gundam when it comes to money, and they're even using CGI, so it's kind of like, damn, my medium is screwed. And it's not like Chainsaw Man or Kaiju Number 8 where they use CGI sometimes. The and like use it for like hard scenes. The primary tool for mecha anime now is 3D, and it sucks. Like I'm just gonna be frank. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The 3D in here looks clean, but simply put, the 3D is never gonna hold up as well. To put into perspective, I'm sorry, but the original Code Geass looks just as good as this Code Geass, as far as the mech fights go, which should say something. They're obviously not as fluid, but ooh, it's kind of sad. And the worst part is you can see the difference. Like Gundam cannot use 3D, or they shouldn't. Why? Because guess what? Gundam has been 2D since the late 70s. Okay? Since 79. They've been 2D for so long. If anything, they're like stuck that now. Now, obviously, that's not saying CGI is like completely banned from all existence, but it's getting to the point where mecha anime are starting to only be CGI, and it starts feeling like it's the norm, not the exception, which is kind of scary. And as fluid as it is, at the end of the day, it's CGI. You can call me a boomer anime fan. I do not care. Anyway, that rant aside, and that nitpick, which is arguably going to carry over the whole show, I thought it was really solid. This is definitely better than episode 1, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. My personal theory is that Rose is going to get killed by Lelouch at the end for abusing their Geass. Anyway, just throwing that out there. And now, without further ado, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I will see you guys later. This is Rox, signing out.